Ogun State Governor Senator Ibikunle Amosun has advised Nigerian politicians not to make politics a do-or-die affairs. Those who are opponents today may turn out to drink from the same cup the next day. He was speaking at a political gathering in Abeokuta, the state capital, where some members of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, decamped to the All Progressives Congress.
It's a full house of these men and women who, up until this moment, were members of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State, specifically from Ogun Central Senatorial District. Now, they are members of the All Progressives Congress.
You know, we've been out of government for over 8 years as an opposition. You know, you want to be part of the government and you want to look at a party where you think you can really get your acts together.
The defection is not just for these men and women. One of the contenders for a seat at the Federal House of Representatives is also changing party.
I'm contented with the leadership style of Senator Ibikunle Amosun. I have adopted him as my father, my political leader, and by the grace of God, we shall deliver his Ogun Central constituency in the forthcoming general election.
The leadership of the All Progressives Congress in the state sees this as a morale booster.
We know ourselves in politics. Those that used to antagonize us before now are now in our fold. So we have no problem.
Governor Amosun says this defection is coming at the right time.
As human, all of us will have discretion that we will exercise to say, oh, I want to belong to this place, I want to belong to that place. But first, whichever place we find ourselves, we should make sure that all of those things, that when the God Almighty ultimately, in the final analysis, call us to say, what have you done when you are here? It should be such thing that will benefit humanity, that will benefit all of those that the good Lord has given you the grace to be in contact with.
From here, these party men and women hit the road with promises of winning the electoral contests, beginning with the presidential and National Assembly elections, which are just days away.
You're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, reaching you live from Lagos. Let's shift our gears now, shall we, to our Abuja studios, where Ibrahim Adra is standing by to take us through. Ibrahim.
Many thanks indeed, Gimba. Let's begin with this story that will come as a relief to many. After 3 months of closing their classroom doors, the Academic Staff Union of Universities today suspended its 3-month-old industrial action, directing all university lecturers to resume duty on Friday, February the 8th. The president of ASU, Professor Biodo Ogunyemi, announced the suspension at a news conference in Abuja after about 2 hours meeting with the Minister of Labor and Employment behind closed doors. The meeting is the 10th in the series of conciliation meetings held by the striking university lecturers and the federal government since November last year, when ASU announced a nationwide industrial action that grounded all government campuses. According to President of ASU, government has demonstrated commitment, meeting some of their demands and also signing a new agreement that will fast-track the revitalization of universities, one of the critical demands of ASU, which has led to the protracted industrial action.
Following a careful review of the report of engagements with the federal government on proposals for addressing all outstanding issues in the 2013 MOU and 2017 MOA, NEC resolved that the current strike action by the union should be suspended conditionally with effect from 12:01 a.m. on Friday, 8 February 2019. However, should government fail to fulfill its part of the agreement as reflected in the 2019 Memorandum of Action, ASU will resume its suspended strike action as the union deems necessary. While we put a closure to this phase of the struggle, it is our hope and desire that the Nigerian governments, federal and state, will play the roles expected of them in order to make the new memorandum work. We shall never abandon our obligation to ensure the survival of a sound university system. For ASU, therefore, the struggle certainly continues.
In another development, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has secured an order of arrest against the embattled former Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ayodele Oke, and his wife, Folashade. Justice Chukwujeku Aneke of the Federal High Court in Lagos issued the order following an oral application made and argued by the counsel to the EFCC, Mr. Rotimi Oyedepo. Having considered the oral application, Justice Aneke said he was convinced beyond reasonable doubt that the said application is meritorious and ordered that Ambassador Oke and wife Folashade be arrested anywhere they are cited in the world. He later adjourned the case to March the 8th for report of arrest of the defendants. The FCC has instituted a 4-count charge against Oke and Folashade, one of which accuses them of concealing over $43 million property of the federal government of Nigeria in an apartment in Osborne Towers, Ikoyi, Lagos. And staying with the courts, a federal high court sitting in Lagos has ordered a former Minister of State for Defense, Senator Musiliu Banikoro, to appear in court at the next adjourned date of March 18, or he would be arrested. Senator Banikoro, who is testifying as the 5th prosecution witness in the trial of the immediate past governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, was scheduled to continue his evidence under cross-examination, but he failed to appear in court. Trial Judge Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, who was not pleased with the development, said she would not hesitate to order Banikoro's arrest should he fail to appear at the next adjourned date. Counsel to the EFCC, Rotimi Jacob SAN, had told the court that Senator Banikoro was in the hospital. The counsel subsequently presented a medical report from a clinic said to be located in Ikoyi. Justice Olatoregun also held that if the court were to take up the matter and verify the medical report, the hospital and the doctor who signed the report could lose their licenses. The judge said that she would only permit an adjournment because of the counsel, who is a very responsible member of the bar, and not because of the medical report. Former Governor Fayose is on trial for allegedly receiving and keeping 1.2 billion naira and $5 million allegedly stolen from the Office of the National Security Advisor, contrary to the Money Laundering Act. He had pleaded not guilty when he was arraigned on the 11-count charge last October the 22nd. The matter has been adjourned till March the 18th. Now, the Nigerian Air Force says it has intensified the bombardment of hideouts of armed bandits in Zamfara State and its environs. Air Force Director of Public Relations Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, says in a statement that the offensive was carried out by the Air Task Force of Operation Diramikia. According to him, the airstrikes were preceded by days of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions initiated based on credible human intelligence reports. It says one of the air interdiction missions was conducted at dawn today at a location in Rugu Forest, south of Gurbin Bauri, where some armed bandits were seen assembled by a logistics truck parked near their compound hideout. Now, the statement adds that several bandits were killed as a result of that attack. And that's it from Abuja. Let's return to our Lagos studio, where Gimba is standing by.
Brilliant. Many thanks indeed, Ibrahim, for that. The Reddington Hospital Group is expanding its tentacles across the Lagos metropolis. The group opened a new hospital today in Lekki in Lagos, which it promises will provide world-class care in 5-star accommodations.
The traffic from the Lekki axis of Lagos to Victoria Island could be horrendous. That's why the Reddington Hospital Group is opening a new branch for Lekki residents. Partners of the group and members of staff are here to witness the event.
We have put together a special, affordable healthcare model facility as part of our corporate social responsibility. We have a fully integrated electronic patient management system that is backed up with conventional notes.
A testament of our commitment to quality is our accreditation with COSASA, which is a South African Healthcare Facility Accreditation Organization, and I'm pleased to say that we achieved re-accreditation in July 2018.
The Reddington Hospital Group is one of many firsts.
The first digital cardiac catheterization facility in Nigeria, the first angioplasty and stent operation to be performed in Nigeria, the forced closure of a hole in the heart in a child using non-surgical technique.
Lagos has been a strong supporter of the group's input into society, so it's no surprise that the Deputy Governor is present to grace the occasion.
The Governor of Lagos State launched the State Healthcare Insurance Scheme in December 2018 to promote access to both public and private healthcare facilities to eligible residents, irrespective of their social and economic status.
She cuts the tape. A tour of the hospital follows. Cutting-edge technology seems commonplace in this two-story facility. Founded in 2006, Reddington Hospital aims to reverse medical tourism by providing affordable care that meets international standard.
It's now time for business news on the News at 10 with Kayode Okikiolu.
You First. First Bank.
Thank you, Gimba, and you're welcome to Business News. After a prolonged delay and settling of regulatory dispute, MTN Nigeria has confirmed that it will list on the country's stock exchange by way of introduction in the first half of this year. The President and Chief Executive Officer of the multinational telecoms group, Mr. Rob Shutter, made this known today at the company's Group Investor Update Conference call. Mr. Shutter hints that shares of the telecoms giant will be open to Nigerian investors in the second phase of the company's listing on the local bourse after completing its planned IPO. MTN's initial public offering is expected to be the biggest for 2019 after Skyway Aviation Handling Company put an end to 4-year drought of IPO listing at the NSE after completing sale of its IPO last month. Nigeria's headline inflation is projected to fall to 11.35% in January, and that's from 11.44% recorded in December 2018. Latest survey by financial derivatives company says that the expected decline in the numbers will come as a relief to policymakers who are concerned that inflation will continue its upward movement, which started in November. FDC, however, hints that the inflation number is still a mile away from the CBN's comfort zone of between 6 to 9%. The National Bureau of Statistics is expected to release the Country Consumer Price Index and inflation report for January on February the 15th. And surprise is the word as Nigeria's equities market closes Thursday's trading session with an unexpected surge in its 5th straight gain. Let's join Edidiang Ewang for more details of the market's stellar performance.
Thank you, Kayode, and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Now, the bulls consolidated a positive trend with a major comeback to the domestic market at the close of today's session. Now, this comes amid increased bargain hunting for the NSE's 5 largest lenders, UBA, Zenith, Access, FBN Holdings, and GT Bank. In the sectoral performance, the banking index led with a massive 5.78% increase, followed by industrial goods 1.47 advance, thanks to Dangote Cement, and a 0.64 uptick by the consumer goods heavyweights like Nestle. As a result, the all-share index regained the 31,000 level by nearly 2%, despite current political atmosphere in the countdown to next week's presidential polls. At the same time, the equities capitalization surged by 229 billion naira. Volume and value was higher compared with Wednesday's session at 436.7 million shares, worth over 5 billion naira. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Edidiang Ewang. Back to you, Kayode.
Thank you, Edidiang. Well, major stock markets in the United States and Europe end in the red on negative Eurozone growth outlook and uncertainty over meeting between U.S. and Chinese president ahead of trade deadline. Here are the global market figures for Thursday. And that's business news for tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Kayode Okikelu. It's now back to you, Gimba.
You First. First Bank.
Brilliant, Kayode. Brilliant indeed. Still ahead on the news at 10. European football governing body UEFA re-elects Alexandru Ceferin as president for another 4-year term as he plans changes to club competition. That's on sports news. Stay with us.